You're listening to the Fit Bottom Girls podcast, the only podcast for active, athletic, and adventurous women and those who aspire to be. We've got your back as you navigate the ups and the downs of motherhood, midlife, and menopause. I'm your host, Allison Hylett, here to remind you that female isn't fragile. I'm a strength, conditioning, and nutrition coach who's trained hundreds of women to achieve their goals to get fit, lift heavy, go the distance, and feel like a badass in every area of their lives. Each week, you'll hear from me and some of our awesome guests as we educate and empower you during each stage of your fitness journey, whether you're already crushing it, fighting to get back out there, or starting from day one. So friends, let's get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fit Bottomed Girls podcast. Today, we're talking about preparing for the retirement you're dreaming of. Now, obviously, the financial aspect of preparing for retirement comes to mind, so that's your savings and investments. And last week's episode of the podcast with Nikki Sims talked at length about the physical preparation for retirement by investing in your muscle mass through strength training. But what about the rest? How do we ensure that we live with purpose, leave a lasting legacy, maintain connections and relationships, and still have fun through recreation and hobbies? With me on the show today is Suzanne Campi, a certified coach who helps women create a personalized blueprint for a vibrant and fulfilling next chapter by helping them to focus on how to invest in all areas of their lives now to enrich their retirement years. So let's get into it. Welcome, Suzanne. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Thank you, Allison. It's so nice to be here with you and your little skeleton buddy back there.
Oh, yes, that's Winston. He's my assistant. So you are a coach for people going through big life changes. And as a woman who very abruptly completely changed careers at age 35 and is now in midlife, where me and my peer group and my clients are all like staring down so many different types of transitions, that I can really appreciate the need for support when you're navigating big life changes.
Yes, it's so brilliant that the millennials and the Xers are being so mindful of change now and so mindful of their transitions, way more than we were. We just plowed through without thinking about anything.
Yes, and for better or for worse, we are planning a little bit more. And so today we're really here to talk about the ways that women can prepare now to live well in retirement. And I am a Gen Xer, so it was hammered into my head, making sure that my financial house is in order, that I am preparing for retirement. And literally the only advice that I've ever gotten my entire life about retirement, and I'm 44 now, is that you need to be putting money into a 401k. And I'm thinking, but what about the rest?
Oh, my Lord.
Beyond the financial investment.
Right. Well, you are not alone, Allison. Baby boomers the same. I mean, we really didn't think. We were just told, save money, pension, and then pensions were gone. So it's 401k, retirement, money. Nobody said, who the heck are you going to be or what legacy are you going to leave when you're older, right? Nobody cared about that. It's like, if you have money left over, leave it to a nice cause. And then that's it. But you know what? I know that my parents, who were in the World War II the greatest generation, that money was extremely important. They were really, really, really without money when they were young. So, of course, it made sense that that was their goal. And also, a lot of them had physical labor jobs. So 65, if they could quit, I think my dad was 62 and a half and he stopped and he was so happy to do nothing. But then the boomers came up and we're the ones who paved the way and did the psychedelics and we're crazy in every which way. And we are going to change up how our parents did retirement too. We've changed up everything else. And then we have the Xers coming right along going, yeah, we're going to do this differently. So we're taking a look at, okay, what's next? What am I capable of? What can I dig out of my soul to bring to the next phase? Because that next phase could be 30, 40 years. My dad lived to 93, so he worked a third of his life.
Thinking about retirement beyond having that financial stability, there's so many other aspects of our lives. You know, sure, you can have the money in the bank and still feel like there's a lot missing from your retirement experience. It is important. It's not only about that, though. And with the amount of time and energy that we spend putting into retirement from like the moment we enter the workforce and all of those individual little deposits that we're making, that can't be the only way that we prepare for the retirement that we really want to have.
Right. And that's, I think, the big surprise. And quite often it hits people once they retire, you know. They finish work, they were looking so forward to this being done thing. Got my money. What am I going to do? Who are we going to be? So much to consider. I have a retirement wheel on my website because I realized how panicked my peers were about retiring. They're like, what am I going to do? And it was all about the do. And I would kick them back and go, who are you going to be here? It's a legacy of what indelible mark are you going to leave on this world? Whose soul are you going to touch? Whose heart are you going to touch? If that matters to you, maybe it doesn't matter to some, but for most people, they really want to leave that legacy of love and empowerment and all of the above. But how about purpose? How about growth, family and friends? What if they just kind of fell off because you were so busy working and raising a family or raising rescue dogs or whatever you were doing that was so entrenched in your workday that good relationships fell to the side? Do you want to take a look back and call some people and say, hey, sorry I let this go. Can we rekindle? And then spirituality. Is there anything that really suits your soul as far as spirit goes? Do you want to go back to your religion? Do you want to try a new one? What do you want to do there? Who's the higher being for you? And if it's within you, are you going to nurture that? So adventure, I want people to remember how to play again. And I think you had somebody on that said the same thing on your podcast. We forget to play. That got knocked out of us. That didn't look cool anymore by the time we were teenagers. So we pretty much stopped doing it.
Yeah, well, they stopped giving us recess.
Oh my God. Which is the dumbest thing ever. It's the sense of fun is just, it's lost and we need to bring it back. And travel does that to some degree. I've worked with so many retirees who, I planned these trips and I did this for a year and then now what?
A lot of the clients that I work with, the retirees are some of the more difficult ones for them to set aside dedicated time to deal with their health and their fitness. So they are so glad they have all this free space that they procrastinate by moving it later in the day, and because there is no structure to the day, and getting them to bring back some of that routine and okay, this is time where you're going to dedicate to doing your workouts or your exercise. And then I have some that are over planning their retirement. I've seen both sides of the spectrum, and we're really looking for the middle path.
Yeah, and some of them need to start keep the to-do list going. The client who kept that to-do list, I have to have a to-do list. I can't live without my to-do list, and kept it the same exactly as it was at work. And then would tick things off. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, she's like, I'm not sure if this is really logical. It's just hemming me in again. So yes, but getting just some structure, even if it is just getting with Allison 3 mornings a week, that's a great amount of structure for starters. So now you're nurturing your health, which we know if we don't have our health, we got nothing. We can't do those other 8 sections of the wheel. We can't do our play and have really good relationships if we're struggling with our health. It is most important over 40 and 50 than any time. And, I owned a fitness studio for 5 years. So I saw that repetitively, that people were great and having fun. And then something went wonky in their body. And that ended it. Oh, that's the canceled trips. That's the canceled Christmas with the kids. I mean, it's so important. And the thing is just how you feel when you're fit.
Yeah, the health and fitness investment that you made in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s are the equivalent of your 401k later on. Each exercise is like a deposit into your 401k of health and mental well-being. And it can be difficult because we've so many conflicting priorities, especially in midlife. We've got perhaps children, and then we've got aging parents, and we're sandwiched between that. And we've got the jobs. And especially as women, we're told we can have it all. We can have the job and we can have the family and we can do the things. And everything in our life. Yeah, something is crowded out. And a lot of times what I see with women is that's their focus on their health that gets crowded out. And they're making the deposits into their financial accounts. They've got that part. They've got their family ties. But what they're missing is that insurance policy that you're going to have the quality of life that you're dreaming of when you finally do get to that point, because you'll get there, hopefully, right? But what quality of life you have from that moment on is going to be largely determined by what you did, just like your financial health, your physical health. It's what you did before that point that's really creating the savings for the quality of life. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a great analogy. And it's the truth. It's the truth. Yeah. It's not the years of your life. It's the life in your years.
Yeah.
I had a client when I owned my fitness studio. She came to the gym from the night she's 93 to 97. I think 98. So our big birthday every year was for her.
Yeah.
She walked in, ramrod straight. And she go, oh, I want to wear out, not rinsed out.
Me too.
She was so funny. And she had been a physical therapist. So she knew exactly She had her little routine and she did her little ballads. She'd stand next to something and hold it. She knew all the things to do. There was her recreation and play. Her thrill was coming to hang out, work out, be with the dogs. But she was just phenomenal. She will be with me forever in my heart. And I made it to over 100 from what I heard. And those years, those were life. Yeah, she was living life. So admired her.
Yeah, nothing will spoil the golden years, like not having the ability to be present for all of it. It's
Mhm.
great if you want to plan all those trips, but what happens when you don't have the strength to get your luggage in the overhead compartment,
Gosh.
and you're not able to enjoy just being at the airport and walking around, or it hurts too much to sit
Mhm.
for so long? There's so many different things and plans that we're drawing up for ourselves in retirement that we're not doing anything to make sure we have the physical capacity to see that through.
Right.
And that's really one of the things that, in my coaching business is really focusing on making sure that your retirement is all that you want it to be by taking those steps.
Like you and I said, there's no compromise here. You want to be able to walk down the aisle of the airplane and not fall when you're going to the loo.
Right.
So it's so imperative. It goes right along with all your relationships.
This is one that I'd love to get your take on. What advice do you have for people who are trying to either create more connections or deepen connections as they're preparing for retirement so that they don't feel like they're just like a person on an island all by themselves?
With no connection.
Yes.
You know what? I think probably our big mistake is thinking it's hard.
Hmm.
Because granted, in middle life, when you're working and you have kids, it is a little harder to take that time to find people. Whereas in retirement, you have a little more time to join hiking groups, join sailing groups, whatever your interest. I always say, go for that. If you're a quilter, there's quilting groups, meetups. You will find your peeps. And I think people's biggest mistake is I'm older now. I'm not going to find people that I'm like or that have the same interests. Yeah, you will. There's a lot of really cool people out there.
Hey, and this is similar advice to what I give people, is just remembering that there's more to you than just your job. I think that's
Mhm.
why we think it's so hard. I had one woman reach out to me that said she is the boss at her job, so she has to be careful about connections. But you're not your job. There's more to you
You're
than
not
that.
your job.
I'm guessing there's something else that you like to
Yes.
do. Go meet those people.
Mhm.
Go do those things. With the internet now, for better or
Right.
for worse, you
So
can connect to
easy.
people all over the world too.
And be open. I mean, I think we tend to close ourselves off in a protective mode. We're so individualistic in our society and especially in our country that we tend to kind of put a little guard around ourselves. What if you remove that? What if just for a couple days you remove the shell?
Hey, you. I wanted to press pause on this episode for a second to talk about your fitness goals. You know, those sweet dreams of being more active and feeling athletic and confident and doing epic, adventurous shit. Or maybe you just feel like you're getting older, because we're all getting older. And you, like me, never want to give up on carrying all the groceries into the house in one shot or picking up that heavy Amazon box without worrying that you're going to throw your back out. I know you're busy. You're probably listening to this episode while multitasking. Oh yeah, I'm on to you. And the biggest thing that's stopping you from getting strong and fit is knowing how to use your workout time most effectively. Like exactly which exercises are worth your time, when to do them, and the number of sets and reps to get to your goals. You've probably also tried other fitness apps and programs out there, only to feel like they weren't right for your needs. You want a program that has it all: strength, power, cardio, mobility, and recovery, all built right in without spending your whole life in the gym. And you want experienced coaches around to answer your questions, and a community at your back to help you stay motivated and inspired. Look, I've been coaching women for a long time now, and the truth is that you don't need another fad diet or complicated, time-consuming workout routine to support you as you age. You just need to train smarter with simple, progressive workouts and a plan that's designed for your body and your life, whether you're navigating motherhood, midlife, or menopause. And if this sounds like exactly what you've been missing, I invite you to join Stronger 365, a progressive strength, power, and conditioning training membership for women like you who are ready to stop winging it and take their training to the next level with more structure and support. And the best part? This program has 3 different options, so you can choose your own fitness adventure based on your goals, how much time you have to train, and what equipment you have, whether you've got access to a full gym or, like me, work out at home. And it's run by me, Allison Heilig, and my awesome team at Miles to Go Athletics. Head over to the show notes for all the details and to join our membership community. And as an FBG, your first 2 weeks are on me. And now, let's get back to the episode. relationships, we got spirituality. So I know that I work with a lot of women that are coming back to spirituality that they maybe had when they were younger, and they're having a different appreciation for those types of things. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, that's something, as you know, is so individual. It's so personal, yet it's something that I think it really suits us well to have that to lean on, have that trust. It's trust. It's trust in ourselves, and it's trust that we're covered, that somebody, something, a spirit, us, we have our back. The universe, whatever you want to call it, has our back. And it's really comforting. So diving into that, I really urge people, if you had a spiritual practice before that suited you, go back, spend some time there, go off and try it. Try to join a meetup. I really encourage people to step out. Unless they want to sit home. But if they want to sit home, they typically haven't called me.
Yeah. They're not in line for coaching. Relationships, we got spirituality, we got fun.
Oh, fun and adventure and novelty. Yes. I love to talk about the fun piece. Remember what you did as a kid. I cannot walk by a ball that gets overthrown by a kid without firing it back, kicking it back. I'm crazy about movement and activity. Remember play and remember goofy, because some people have been on the treadmill for so long. They forgot to play. They forgot to kid. They forgot to be goofy. Shoot, life is short. It's funny. I mean, laugh at it.
And I love the adventure part of this too, because I think we get to this place in our life where we've created such a safety and familiarity around our preferences and how we like things to be. I have my dogs. I love to take them out on the trails to hike, but just going to a different place and maybe you get a little bit lost, like
Right.
there's just that feeling of like stepping out. I think we're privileged to live in a world when we really can create a sense of a bubble of what we like around ourselves. But that can also be like a cage that kind of cripples us.
Absolutely.
It sucks the fun out of life. 'Cause
very
now it's like,
crippling.
yeah, I love the idea, like thinking about it. If you're somebody who has been very serious for a long time and fun doesn't feel accessible, adventure might be that first step of like just stepping out of the comfort zone that you
Yes.
created and going to do something different and just enjoying that you don't know what's going to happen.
Mhm. You know, that I had a client who always did the 5-star travel. They only had 2 to 4 weeks off a year, so they would, 5-star it somewhere.
Mhm.
And then once he was retired, he said, "Oh my god, I need to do something kind of hard. I need to do a hike." So he planned hikes around the Bryce area and the Utah area. He was so proud. When we were looking at moving overseas, I was like, "I don't know if we should move or not." And this friend of mine grabbed me by the shoulders and went, "Do it. Do it. Don't think again.
Yeah.
Do it." She was
Go for it.
I was so grateful.
There's this illusion of safety when we stay in the certainty,
It's an
in the comfort
illusion.
zone. Yeah, but it is an illusion because you could walk out the door tomorrow and get hit by a bus. So you're not
Mhm.
necessarily as safe. Like there are some risks that are worth taking for the sake of adventure. To say you're living a life and
Oh
not
my
just
god, and to be interesting. I mean,
yeah.
it could get pretty freaking boring if you're gonna just
Oh
hang
yeah.
out.
Oh yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
boring if you're talking my dad topic of conversation was sitcoms for the most part. I mean,
No.
yes. No, no.
We've got relationships, we've got spirituality, we've got fun and adventure. What else we got?
I love legacy. Legacy, because I really think the paradigm shift here is that it's not just about money. And yes, you can leave your money with your favorite causes.
Yeah,
That's
because I'm going to tell you,
fabulous.
I don't have children and I'm not going to have children.
Mhm.
So like this legacy thing always for me gets me, but it's bigger than what you're passing
Oh,
on to your
much
kids. It's
bigger.
not necessarily about that.
Allison, you're already leaving a legacy to women. I bet you are teaching people that didn't know before their power, what they're capable of. You're already doing it.
That's
So
my
how
hope.
beautiful that you're leaving this. You're empowering women. We have so many freaking mixed messages out there about aging, about
Yep.
looking weak, about not being pretty, blah, 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 about being invisible. I am
Yep.
tired of it. I just saw a hilarious meme this morning that said, Women's Magazine, and it shows this little girl going, "Woo," and the cover is how to be yourself. And the inside is how to lose 40 pounds.
Yep.
And then the next page is how to bake the perfect cake.
Yep.
That is in a nutshell our
Yep.
mixed messages from the
Yeah.
time we come out of the womb.
And the thing that just really gets me is the amount of advertising dollars and
Mm.
time and energy that all of this is directed at this messaging of women that we should never look our age. right?
Oh,
But it doesn't matter how we feel. Like, it's not about like, it's always like, get the Botox, get the fillers, get the hair dye, get the stuff that makes you look on the outside young, but
mhm.
not nearly as much as devoted to what makes us feel young on the inside, on the health side, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah, so I wish, I hope my legacy is that women spend more of their time, energy, and money, resources devoted to investing in the quality of life and the way that their life feels beyond
Mhm.
just needing to look young to fit some ideal of what a woman of their age should look like.
Right, right. It's sad. I so agree with you that I don't even know which route to take here, but I agree with you. I mean, this all started with you talking about the legacy that you're leaving, which is empowering women. And it's funny, you wrote, sign up for the race, book that hiking trip. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then run around with their kids. And I would add, and grandkids, because I
Yeah.
have a lot. My sister got in shape when she got a grandkid because
Mhm.
she couldn't get off the
A
floor with
lot of
him.
my clients go there.
It's
Yep.
like, shoot, I got to keep up with this little
Yep.
bugger. So I mean, that's fun. And I love to see that there's young women like you, Allison, that are out there empowering women to be their badass selves. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just so important. And I truly feel this is why I work more with women is that if we work in community and we lift each other up, we will rule the world and the world
Yep.
will definitely be a better
Stronger
place.
together for
Oh
sure.
my God.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Watching women cheer each other on instead of jeer each other
Yep.
the best. It's the
It
best,
is.
and that's where our power is gonna come from.
Yeah.
We can't be divided. We just can't.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, legacy is an interesting one. What are some of the reflections that you give to people when they're pondering what their legacy is going to be? Because that can feel really big and ambiguous to some people. So, how do you help people figure that out?
Well, it could be small. It could be a million little things. It's not always big. Where they wanna spend their time and what they wanna the mark they wanna leave is actually fairly clear once they really go inside. And sometimes they don't need to go that far or spend that much time. It's like, you know what? I really want young girls in the inner city to know they are valued. I usually work with very heartfelt people because we're attracted to each other.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things they leave. They are helping with women's clinics right now. They are doing what they can to right the wrongs of our society.
I love it too because spend so much of our time at our jobs and so many decades working.
Mhm.
We get to this place where retirement where it can feel like some of the purpose just gets taken away. What do I do with myself now? Like that I don't have this I'm not giving so much of myself to something that makes me feel like I'm going to get up in the morning and get dressed in the morning.
Mm.
And we attach a lot of meaning and our identity to our jobs. And like my husband and I have this conversation of like, if we won the lottery, he's like, I would quit my job immediately. And I'm like, I would still want to do something.
I think most people do feel that way when they retire because in a way they have hit the lottery. They did the right saving.
Yeah.
And then you get to drill down to what's important to you.
And that's the time when you hope that you have the physical fitness and the health that you support
Yes.
that. You don't want to
Yes.
get there and be like, but I can't.
You know what? Work with Allison to keep your body fit. You do a lot of online, right?
We do all online. Yeah.
All online? Oh,
Yep.
Lord. You have no excuse then.
Yep.
Call Allison for that fitness. Make some goals. It's so
Yep.
fun to have those goals. There's always something you could do. So don't get discouraged would be my advice. Running was my therapy. And now hiking is my therapy. And I live right next to a mountain. I'm up there all the time. My dog's in good shape. I'm in good shape. And then I turn into more of a yogi. So now I can't believe it. I have to force myself to go to the gym, but I have to do the weight piece. And so that's my thing I might have to that I don't really like. We always have a few of those. But I earn my yoga. Because I absolutely now I am a total yoga freak, which is great at my age because I'm not losing any kind of range. In fact, I'm gaining range and mobility and hiking. So yes, certain things with age may fall by the wayside. There's always something you can do and still
Yeah.
be really fit because without the fitness piece, all these other pieces are going to fall by the wayside. You
Yeah.
can't
It's going to
do
limit
them.
you.
You're limited.
Yep.
So keep it up.
So tell me a little bit about your coaching and who would be a good fit for that.
Mm. Absolutely. Anybody going through life transitions. I am niching and talking mostly about retirement now because I
Okay.
think it's so fun to show people the paradigm shift and how exciting it can be and how many possibilities there are. And so I work one on one with folks. I'm starting a forum in February, most likely, of groups of women who will work together as a team. I'll have a topic each week and we'll talk about it. And then they'll really lift each other up. They'll have action items, whatnot. That's a group coaching. And then I have my VIP days, which are all day intensives. If people are thinking, oh, I'm going to retire. What am I going to do? How can I set myself up on the right foot? We'll do all day intensives. So that's fun. SuzanneCampi.com is the best way to find me. And it shows everything there. And also you can click on the retirement wheel and play with it. It actually spits out a report.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's fun. Yeah, it's super fun. And it's not a test. There's no right or wrong. And it's just kind of see where you might just want to be 10% better. I never even want to say needs improvement. Just something you might want to pay more attention to, one thing than the other. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So we'll link your website, we'll link your LinkedIn as well in the show notes so people can find you easily. This was really great. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Allison. I so enjoyed. We preached to the same choir. Thank you.
And that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Fit Bottom Girls podcast. But don't worry, we're dropping new episodes every Thursday. In the meantime, head over to the show notes for all the links from today's episode, or go to fitbottomedgirls.com/podcast to catch up on past episodes. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week.